Growing up, I learned a lot about life as I watched my grandmother in her garden. Her garden was not like other gardens I've seen or recall now as an adult. See, I recall my grandmother's garden, actually my great grandmother's garden, as a place that evokes feelings of belonging, safety, warmth, and love just thinking about it. This house and the soil upon which it is planted is the place where I continue to come alive. Likewise, this image of me being held by my great great grandmother seated in the yard of this house is both jarring and comforting. It evokes feelings of comfort for me in knowing that I am a descendant of Mary Johnson County, who, as far as we can trace her ancestry, was a sharecropper and very likely the first generation removed from our matrilineal connection to a tobacco plantation in Southern Maryland. Yet this image also jars me to know that my own familial memory can construct the time and place where our people not only treaded the soil of a plantation, but very likely worked the same soil. My story is not unique, but yet it is important. Colonization and the brutal perpetuation of antebellum slaveocracy ruptured familial lines as grandmothers and grandchildren were violently disconnected from one another and the very soil from under their feet. What images and memories might be unearthed as plantation-themed cinematic portrayals transport Black women back to a time where their imagination is triggered? To answer these questions, my research is comprised of hosting a community film festival, part of the 2021 Spirit and Place Festival, where community members, scholars, and everyday citizens gathered to watch these two plantation-themed films, Antebellum and Harriet. During the festival, I moderated a panel as well as a community conversation where we discussed cinematic portrayals of Black embodiment as needy, entitled, only productive when produced, and otherwise subservient that seem to exploit historic tropes of Black bodies. These conversations suggest that these images and others like them contribute to the perpetuation of problematic anti-Black sentiments and cultural norms. Through ethnographic inquiry, participant observation, surveys, ritualistic soil collection, and oral histories, my research examines the plantation as a transhistorical materiality that emerged as a period in history, yet persists as a temporal and ahistorical influence on individual and institutional behaviors in the United States, particularly in the sectors of nonprofit management, religion, and culture. The output of this project will answer the question, how do cinematic portrayals of antebellum plantation life, particularly for Black women, inform Black and anti-Black sentiments in modern American institutions? As activist Bree Newsom noted, considering that Harriet Tubman and Ronald Reagan were once alive at the same time, it makes sense to examine the plantation system that existed for centuries if you're trying to understand the modern dynamics of race, capitalism, and policing. Thank you.
Thank you. Great job.